Highly intelligent people don't always look intelligent, and that's exactly why they're so often misunderstood. They don't need to dominate conversations, speak the loudest, or constantly prove what they know. In fact, some of their most revealing habits can look surprisingly strange from the outside. They talk to themselves, avoid unnecessary crowds, and question things everyone else simply accepts. They can spend hours thinking about something most people would forget within a few minutes. These behaviors are often mistaken for awkwardness, laziness, insecurity, or even social detachment. But beneath those strange habits, something much more complex may actually be happening. Here are 9 strange habits often seen in highly intelligent people. And some of them may explain things you've always found unusual about yourself. The first strange habit is something many people do when nobody else is around. Highly intelligent people often talk to themselves while they're trying to solve a problem. They may whisper ideas, repeat sentences, or quietly argue through different possibilities out loud. It looks strange, but speaking can help transform mental chaos into something more organized. Thoughts inside your head compete for attention, often arriving faster than you can process them. Saying them aloud forces the brain to slow down and structure each idea more clearly. So they aren't necessarily confused. Sometimes they're simply making their own thoughts easier to see. And intelligent people rarely accept the first thought that appears inside their mind. That's why they often question things that everyone around them seems willing to accept. Why is it done this way? Who decided this was the best solution? And most importantly, could there be a smarter or more efficient way to do it? Constant questioning can make intelligent people seem argumentative, difficult, or unnecessarily skeptical. But they simply struggle to accept explanations that collapse when examined a little more deeply. And once your mind questions everything around you, eventually it starts questioning you too. That's why intelligent people often replay conversations long after everyone else has forgotten them. A conversation ends in the afternoon, but their brain may still analyze it before bed. Why did that person say it that way? Did their expression mean something different? This isn't always insecurity. Sometimes it's an analytical brain automatically searching for hidden patterns. The same mind that solves complex problems can turn its attention toward ordinary social interactions. The problem is that people are much less predictable than mathematics, systems, or logical equations. So an analytical mind can become trapped, trying to solve a social puzzle without an answer. That constant processing helps explain why intelligent people often need much more time alone. For them, solitude isn't necessarily loneliness. Sometimes it's simply mental maintenance. Conversations, background noise, facial expressions, and social expectations all demand pieces of attention. When the mind processes everything deeply, constant stimulation can become surprisingly exhausting. Being alone removes that noise and finally gives the brain room to reorganize itself. That's why they can genuinely love people while still declining invitations and choosing solitude. Another strange habit is spending long periods apparently doing absolutely nothing. They stare through windows, take long walks, sit quietly, or simply disappear into their thoughts. From the outside, it can look lazy, but internally something very different may be happening. Their mind may be connecting ideas that seemed completely unrelated only moments earlier. That's why difficult answers sometimes appear in the shower, during a walk, or before sleep. For certain minds, doing less externally can actually create much more activity internally. Highly intelligent people can also become intensely obsessed with completely random subjects. One week it's ancient Rome. Next it's neuroscience, sleep, submarines, or something equally unexpected. There may be no practical reason for learning it. Curiosity itself becomes the reward, and those apparently random interests can eventually connect in ways nobody expected. Knowledge from psychology may suddenly connect with history, economics, technology, or human behavior. That constant pattern recognition also makes intelligent people unusually sensitive to tiny inconsistencies. Someone changes one detail, their tone contradicts their words, or something simply feels different. Their brain compares the present with stored information and immediately notices when something doesn't match. But strangely, intelligent people don't always reveal everything they notice or understand. Sometimes they stay quiet, let someone finish, or ignore mistakes that aren't worth correcting. Intelligence isn't always proving you're right. Sometimes it's realizing that proving it adds nothing. And perhaps the strangest habit is this. Highly intelligent people often doubt their own intelligence, because the more they understand, the more they realize how much remains unknown. And sometimes, understanding more makes it harder to feel understood.